In 1933, IBM handed Adolf Hitler's government the exact technology it needed to locate and catalog every Jewish person in Germany, and 6 million people were systematically identified, classified, and killed. Yet IBM's CEO personally accepted a medal from the Nazi regime, and no executive at the company ever faced a single criminal charge. So why has no one ever told you this? IBM. International Business Machines. For most of the 20th century, it was the most trusted brand in corporate America. The company that built the future that put computing power inside hospitals, banks, and government offices. Thomas J. Watson, SR, the man who turned a small tabulating company into a global empire, was celebrated as a visionary, a patriot, a philanthropist who hung one word on the wall of every IBM office in the world. Think, the public image was spotless. The reputation was earned. Nobody questioned it. Nobody looked behind it. But in January 1933, the exact month Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany, IBM was already running a profitable operation through its wholly owned German subsidiary, Die Hamag, and they weren't supplying typewriters. They were leasing Hollerith punch card machines, custom-engineered tabulation systems that could sort population data by any variable their operators chose: name, address, religion, race. The Nazis needed this desperately, because before you can systematically eliminate a population, you have to be able to find them. The 1933 German census wasn't a government headcount, it was a targeting operation. IBM's machines sorted the output, flagged the Jewish households, cross-referenced the addresses. Thomas Watson knew the application. He visited Germany personally. He met Nazi officials. He signed off on the contracts. In 1937, Hitler's regime honored him directly the Merit Cross of the German Eagle, Germany's highest decoration for a foreign civilian. Watson accepted it. He wore it at a dinner in front of diplomats and journalists. The photographs exist. When the American press started applying pressure 2 years later, Watson returned the medal, but not the machines. IBM's lease model was deliberate. Die Hamag couldn't buy the equipment outright. They had to rent it, which meant IBM-trained technicians stayed on the ground in Germany to maintain and service it. Regularly, at census bureaus, at government ministries, at rail sorting operations that coordinated deportation logistics. The machines didn't run without IBM's proprietary punch cards. IBM supplied those, too. The U.S. State Department had cables documenting IBM's German operations well before the war began. But that's not even the part they really didn't want out. Historian Edwin Black spent 8 years combing IBM archives across 4 continents. His 2001 book, IBM and the Holocaust, reconstructed what the company's internal records actually showed. Die Hamag didn't passively respond to Nazi orders. They competed aggressively for the contracts. They pitched new applications to SS officials. They customized punch card columns to accommodate Nazi racial classifications, specific codes for Jew, for prisoner category, for concentration camp identifiers. The machines tracked arrivals. They tracked labor capacity. They tracked death tallies. IBM's headquarters in New York received regular reports from Die Hamag throughout the war, profit statements, operational updates, technical assessments. After Pearl Harbor, after the United States formally declared war on Germany, IBM found ways to maintain financial control of its German assets through Swiss intermediaries. The operation kept running. The revenue kept coming. At the end of the war, IBM filed claims to recover the full value of its German holdings. They were paid. The machinery of the Holocaust generated a return on investment, and IBM collected it. After Nuremberg, IG Farben executives were tried for supplying Zyklon B. Krupp executives were tried for using slave labor. No IBM executive was called to testify. No one at IBM was indicted, investigated, or formally questioned by the Allied tribunals. The U.S. government was already rebuilding its post-war economy with IBM at the center of its computing infrastructure. Too important to touch, too embedded to prosecute. Watson died in 1956. Celebrated, his obituaries covered his philanthropy, his corporate philosophy, his legacy. Die Hamag was not in them. When Black's book arrived in 2001, IBM declined to address specific documents. They called it ancient history. They pointed to their modern diversity commitments. IBM has never issued a formal apology. They have never acknowledged in any official statement the specific role their leased technology played in the classification and identification that made the Holocaust operationally possible. They called it commerce. They called it neutrality. They called it business. But here is the question IBM never had to answer in a courtroom. The Hollerith machine wasn't a weapon. It was a data processing tool, a commercial product leased to a paying client. The logic IBM operated under, we build the system. What governments do with it is not our responsibility. That exact argument is the stated operating philosophy of the largest technology companies on Earth right now. The surveillance platforms, the predictive targeting systems, the population management software sold to authoritarian governments today under export licenses no journalist is covering. The contracts exist. The use cases are documented. The executives are giving speeches about innovation and responsibility. IBM was never made to answer for what their technology enabled. And if they weren't, with the evidence that clear, with the scale that massive, the people running the next version of this story already know they won't have to either. So the only question left is who's going to ask them before it's too late to matter.